WrestleMania 42 just went down in Las Vegas, and the chaos was off the charts. Danhausen literally invaded the ring during an epic segment with John Cena. It was the moment nobody saw coming when he teamed up with a crew of mini-Hausens to crash the party.
Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLune 3-pack screen protector plus 3-pack camera lens protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
John Cena had the whole arena buzzing when he officially stepped up to the mic to announce the attendance numbers. He revealed a massive turnout of 55,255 fans packed into Allegiant Stadium for the final night. When you combine that with Saturday, we are looking at over 106,000 people showing up for this historic two-day spectacle. The Miz tried to hijack the show and demand his spotlight, but Danhausen shut that down immediately. He hit The Miz with a low blow and followed it up with a hilarious version of the Five Knuckle Shuffle. John Cena couldn't even keep a straight face as Danhausen hijacked the moment right before the massive main event between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Things were not all smooth sailing, though, because fans are absolutely furious at Netflix for another major streaming crash. Viewers are taking to social media in a rage after the service buckled under the pressure of the broadcast. If you want the latest updates on all the drama and results from the biggest weekend in wrestling, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel now. Ever wondered what happens when the weirdest man in wrestling meets the biggest face of the franchise? Well, WrestleMania 42, or should I say, WrestleMania Hausen, just gave us the answer, and it was absolute chaos. After John Cena stepped out to announce the official attendance, he was interrupted by the high-maintenance duo of The Miz and Kit Wilson, who were desperate for their own spotlight. But right when you thought it was going to be a standard Miz meltdown, the Danhausen-mobile rolled onto the stage, flanked by a squad of mini-Hausens. The scene was pure comedy gold as Danhausen introduced himself to Cena, completely blowing off The Miz in the process. Things escalated quickly when one of the mini-Hausens delivered a swift blow to Kit Wilson, and Danhausen followed suit with a low blow to The Miz, topping it all off with his own twisted version of the Five Knuckle Shuffle, which he fittingly dubbed the Five Knuckle Curse. Even Cena couldn't help but get in on the joke, playing along with the "you can't see Hausen" gag as if he'd been part of the act all along. It's exactly the kind of unscripted, bizarre magic that makes the wrestling landscape so unpredictable. If you want to dive deeper into the madness, head over to Fightful for our full WrestleMania 42 coverage and catch the post-show podcast to hear us break down every wild moment. Tell me, do you think Danhausen belongs in the main event scene after this, or was this just a fever dream we all shared? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more wrestling updates. What does a massive weekend of professional wrestling look like in the modern era? Well, it looks like over 100,000 fans packing the house. WWE just dropped the official attendance numbers for Night 2 of WrestleMania 42, and the energy in that arena was absolutely electric. John Cena, stepping into his role as the face of the event, stepped up to the microphone to announce a crowd of 55,255 people for Sunday night's show. When you combine that with the 50,816 who showed up for Saturday, you are looking at a total weekend attendance of 106,072. That is a staggering figure, but it really highlights the star power on display this year. Think about the card. We had the sheer brute force of Oba Femi taking on Brock Lesnar, a high-stakes showdown between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship, and of course, the main event tension of CM Punk clashing with Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight title. These aren't just matches. They are spectacles that define the industry. It's clear that even in a changing media landscape, the spectacle of WrestleMania remains the undisputed heavyweight champion of live entertainment. If you missed any of the carnage or the gold-winning moments, make sure you head over to Fightful's live coverage or check out the post-show breakdowns on our YouTube channel for all the highlights. Whether you love the storytelling or just come for the jaw-dropping physicality, this weekend proved that wrestling is hotter than ever. But I have to ask you, with numbers like these, does the grandest stage of them all actually need to get even bigger? Or is this the perfect scale for the modern fan? Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more updates on everything happening in the world of WWE. Ever wonder what happens when absolute chaos crashes the biggest stage in sports entertainment? Well, WrestleMania 42 just gave us the answer, and it involved a very unlikely superstar stealing the spotlight right from under The Miz. Despite not making the official card in Las Vegas, The Miz wasn't about to let his moment go to waste. He stormed the ring during night 2, hijacking John Cena's host duties alongside Kit Wilson to demand his share of the limelight. But the wrestling gods had a much weirder plan in store. Just as The Miz started running his mouth, the iconic music of Danhausen hit, and he didn't come alone. Bringing a literal army of mini Danhausens, the bizarre fan favorite turned the ring into a circus. You had to laugh as Wilson tried to play tough, only to get a taste of some basement-level justice from a pint-sized troublemaker. After clearing the riffraff, The Miz was left alone with the man himself. In a moment of pure gold, Danhausen delivered a signature curse, followed by a hilariously perfect five-knuckle shuffle right in front of John Cena. Even the Cenation leader couldn't help but crack a grin at the absurdity of it all. It was the definition of an unscripted WrestleMania classic, maybe not the moment The Miz wanted, but certainly the one the fans deserved. As the dust settled and Cena refocused the crowd for the gargantuan showdown between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, it served as a perfect reminder that in WWE, you never know who is going to show up to steal the show. What did you think of the surprise cameo? Was it the best part of the night, or just plain weird? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more wrestling breakdowns. Sometimes, the most memorable moments aren't on the script. They're the ones that leave us asking, what on earth did I just watch? Imagine paying for the biggest night in wrestling, sitting down with your snacks, and watching your screen freeze into a pixelated mess. That is exactly the reality thousands of WWE fans faced this weekend as Netflix hit yet another massive technical roadblock during night 2 of WrestleMania 42. You would think by now that a streaming giant would have the live broadcast kinks worked out, but the rage on social media tells a very different story. It was supposed to be a historic celebration at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, packed with high-octane action and celebrity cameos like IShowSpeed, Logan Paul, and the legendary Stephen A. Smith. But for those watching from home, the experience was less about the championship glory and more about refreshing the app in a blind panic. From total server crashes to the service being completely unavailable for some users, fans didn't hold back, threatening to cancel their subscriptions en masse. This isn't just an isolated incident, either. We are looking at the third time in just a month that Netflix has struggled with live event stability, following their shaky MLB opening night coverage. It is a harsh wake-up call for the streaming industry as they pivot to live sports. While the crowd inside the stadium was busy watching NFL star George Kittle chug beers and cheering on the latest chapter of WWE history, the digital divide turned the viewer experience into a total disaster. On the bright side, we did see John Cena return in a new hosting role following his emotional in-ring retirement, reminding us why WrestleMania remains the crown jewel of the company despite these technical failures. The move to a streaming-first strategy for WWE is ambitious, but if they cannot keep the stream live, those long-term storylines are going to get lost in a sea of buffering icons. Is Netflix truly ready for the demands of live sports, or is this the new normal for our big events? Sound off in the comments with your own horror stories, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more updates on the wrestling world. Sometimes, the most intense fights aren't happening in the ring. They are happening in your living room with a bad Wi-Fi signal.